Hello, everybody. Uh, Welcome. My name is Jamie. I am the owner of the Formula Fanboy YouTube channel. As you can see, uh, I have finally managed to get into my own room, so I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm just going to give a general update on where I am currently in about halfway through February of 2023 and how things are going. So we're still pretty close to the beginning of the year, and I'm already going to say I don't think I'm probably going to be able to get quite as much done this year as I thought I was going to be able to. But I'm at least going to start everything this year that I thought I was going to, that I said in my last video. I just don't know if I'll be able to, how much of it I'll be able to get out, because it's a very involved process, but I'm going to address the elephant in the room. First of all, I have a green screen, a real one that I can stand in front of and talk to. So I am definitely planning to do some stuff with that. I won't say much. All I'm going to say in that regard is I am currently undergoing, or I guess overseeing, the production of two TV shows. One of them is aimed more towards kids, and the other one is aimed at adults. So that's what I'm going to say for now. Um, and also a movie, but that's just like part of one of the two shows, so it doesn't really count. Anyways, I haven't started filming any of that stuff yet. I still have to figure out how the hell to get the camera to focus from a distance. It just won't do it. I'm just so blurry. But you might have seen in my new profile picture, which is another thing, my new profile picture. That's just me standing in front of the green screen, folding my arms, and I'm very happy about it. It's like I'm a person. I'm no longer a CGI character. So I think it puts a little. It might seem like a small thing, but I think having this new profile picture kind of puts a little bit more weight behind when I talk, because you can see me. You can actually see me. And when you see my channel that says Formula Fanboy, you can look in the profile picture and be like, yep, that's him. uh, I have studio lights. These are studio lights I was talking about. They really face this way, but that, creates a giant glare. This other one is also a light. It's just turned off at the moment. And I ordered another set of lights so that I could use one of them as a tripod. So this is just my shitty webcam. Not my shitty webcam. This one is the shitty webcam. This is the good webcam. And it's currently on this tripod, which is literally just one of these lights, except instead of a light at the top of it, I was, conveniently has the exact same screw that I can just put my camera on there. So that's that. Haven't started on that stuff. Don't plan to for a couple months. But I just figured I'd address it right off the bat because you can see it behind me, and I just know you're dying to know. So that's that. So, Formula Fanboy, if that's not what you've come to update us about, what have you come to update us about? Well, I am so glad you asked. Blood Knuckle, the exploration of the illustrious underground, is way past halfway done. In fact, I would go as far as to say that it's almost done. Let me put it this way. This, in any other game, is the part... Any other game I'm making is the part where I go, yeah, it's almost done. But in reality, it'll probably take a while longer for it to come out, just because I still have to, polish everything up and put everything together, put all the pieces together. I'm pretty much at the point now where I have all the pieces, and now I just have to put them all together, if that makes any sense, right? That's kind of the stage I'm at in development. But for all intents and purposes, the game is mostly finished. I have coded most of the levels, more than half of the level for sure. I only have a couple more levels to code. And I am officially at the stage of development where I am getting voice actors. Because, just in case you forgot, this game, this Blood Knuckle 2, is going to be fully voice acted and have a lot of spoken dialogue. And I've already got a lead role. Titanette, who is the main character from the first game and still the main character in the second game. If you ask me who the main character is, I'd say Titanette. But, it alternates every level between Titanette and Catraspio now. So, technically, technically, I have to say she's one of the two protagonists. I still consider her the main like character in the story. But either way, blah 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 blah. The point I'm getting at is I have cast her. I actually have a voice actress to voice her. She hasn't done all the lines yet, but I've written all the lines for her, and she says she's going to send them to me Saturday. But I've got a few lines in the game, including just her saying the title of the game, and like a few, like general noises that she makes when she like gets hurt and punches people. You know how in like video games, right? Like you fall from a long height and then your character goes like that kind of thing, right? And I've already got that stuff put in the game, and it is absolutely surreal. Let me tell you, I am not at all used to it. It is so strange to me, the idea, like yeah, even though I'm the one putting it in, right, and like coding it in, but then I run the game and it's like they talk now. It's so surreal to hear these cartoon characters talking. I mean, not that I haven't heard cartoon characters talk before, but that I made these ones with my own two hands, and they're talking now. I've technically had voice acting in a game before. Uh, Bananarang, The Scattered Shards came out last year, which, by the way, please play it. I spent 2 years on it. It's a very good game. Bananarang, The Scattered Shards came out in October, and that game has voice acting because they're a very, very, very talented guy, AJ Talley, voices the pirate in that game. But the pirate doesn't actually really say anything. The pirate goes yar har in a bunch of different inflections. Like he goes yar har, like and that's kind of the joke, right? Is that he's emoting different things with like this one phrase, and then on top of that, I put like an NES like compression filter over it, so it sounds like a really compressed voice clip from an old game. So it's still voice acting, yes, technically, but and I'm just to be clear, I'm not like belittling, the fact that it is voice acting, that a real voice actor did take time out of his day to make that happen for me. But it's not quite the same to then compare that to in full crisp HD audio in this new game I'm making, these characters are like speaking full sentences. And just to be clear, they are. This game has a lot of dialogue in it, just like the first game. And all of that dialogue is going to be spoken. Um, there most of it will be subtitled, but some of it will not be. It will just like happen during gameplay. But anyways, back to having casted Titannet. I've casted Titannet, and I'm very, very happy with how it went. I'm very, very happy that I managed to nab a very, very talented person to voice this character that has pretty much the exact voice I imagined her to talk in. I'm not going to say who just yet. It's not. It's probably not someone you'd know. It's not like a Hollywood superstar or anyone like that. It's just a voice actor that I found on Casting Call Club. But she's really talented. She's really great. She's been in a lot of things, and she's going to be in this game now. So that's really cool. Really looking forward to it. Um, and there's also a scene where I remember in the first game there were a bunch of clowns. In this game, the clowns return, and I got somebody to voice the clown too, which I just finished coding in the game like 17 minutes ago. So um, yeah, it's still got a fair way to go before this game is done. But just like a general update, there's almost no way this game doesn't come out this year. Like almost no way whatsoever. I don't want to make any promises again because I don't want to disappoint anybody because I just know I have like fans like that, right? Totally. But I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get the game out by this year. I'm almost certain that I'll be able to get this game out by this year, and at the very least, I can say like I'll be able to get the vast majority of the game finished and done uh, before the end of this year. There is, of course, still the other thing, which if you watch any of my previous videos, you already know this, but if you haven't, then I'll just briefly recap it as best I can for you, which is that a certain person, I don't want to say who because I don't want to create any sense of like public pressure to for this person, but a person who is a pretty large content creator who I watch a lot, somewhat of a personal hero for me, to be completely honest. Um, they stream a lot on Twitch, and I talked with them sometime in November 2021 in their Twitch chat, about them playing a character in this game. Because yes, I have been planning for this game for like years now, and they essentially said yes. Like they said yes, I would do that, and I'd do it for free. And so at that time, I hadn't even begun development on the game yet, right? But now that it's pretty much almost done, and I have written all of the dialogue that this person would be reading, then I've gone back to their channel on Twitch. I'm very, very Twitch illiterate. I don't use Twitch. I don't watch Twitch. All of this person's videos I watch on YouTube. So it's been a little difficult to use, and from what I understand, Twitch barely functions. Like, I'm having this glitch where I just can't do anything. I try to send people messages, and they'll send for a second, and then they'll instantly disappear. And then the same thing happens when I try to follow someone. I'll press the follow button, and for like a second, it'll be like the normal reaction to that. It'll show like the bell and whatnot, but then it'll immediately revert back to being a follow button. Like, I can't do anything. I can't do anything, or else it immediately reverses. The only thing it lets me do is send chat messages. Um, but I ended up working around that. I kid you not, everybody in this person's Twitch chat basically tutorialized me on how to install this external application called Chatterino, and I was able to use commands in that to send the messages. So big thank you to. Well, I can't say whose chat this was, but if you were one of those people, you know who you are. So thank you. um, for helping my Twitch illiterate ass, do that. Because otherwise I would have never ever figured it out. I would have just been screwed. But I basically, since that this you can't exactly direct message this person because they have like thousands and thousands of fans. Then what I've basically done is I've messaged one of their moderators on Twitch, and I've basically said, hey, I had this interaction with this person like a couple of years ago. It would really, really, make my day if they're still willing to do this. Like, this would be one of those, I hate to be corny, but this would be one of those, like, maybe dreams can come true scenarios if this actually happens. I've written out all this dialogue. It's, like, about 3 or 4 pages of dialogue. If he wants, he could just bang it all out in, like, an afternoon. Anytime he wants. So just, let me know. And they're like, okay, I will let you know. That was yesterday. I just hope it goes somewhere. I have already set a reminder on Siri, because like a couple years ago, I really don't use it for anything other than taking pictures. I'm a flip phone man, but a couple years ago, one of my close friends gave me an iPhone. So I made Siri set the reminder 2 weeks from yesterday so that I will message back and ask about it if I haven't heard anything by that point. Because, I don't want to pester, I don't want to badger, I don't want to be that guy, but I just would like some confirmation, you know? Yeah, that is still something I am actively trying to make happen. And if it does happen, then you will find out who this person is, and obviously, because I will be plastering it all over the game, I will be so thrilled about this if it actually happens. But with that being said, that's kind of the state the project is in right now, right? I'll tell you some other things about the game, some other info about Blood Knuckle 2. First of all, the general concept is the same, but the gameplay is different. I am reusing the engine from the first game, which really, honest to God, is just so that I can like keep all the character animations. But the actual gameplay is pretty largely different. It's not like the first game where you kind of just like went around and did stuff. I know, what a great description. There's like an inventory system now. Not really an inventory system, just you have an inventory slot and you can pick things up and place them down. And I know that sounds like a really, really, hilariously basic mechanic, but I've managed to base most of the game around just that. I know you probably can't imagine how a mechanic that basic could fill up a whole game, but just trust me, it's really cool. You'll see it when it comes out. It's It's the kind of thing you've seen nothing like it from the first game. But the general concept is the same, right? Each level is basically sort of like an escape room, and you have to solve some sort of puzzle or do some sort of thing to get out and progress. This time, instead of ascending up into the sky, you are descending down into the underground, hence the name. And the first game had 20 levels. This game will have 25. And out of those 25 levels, 7 of them are bosses. 4 of them are Catraspia bosses, which don't really affect the main story much and are kind of just like bosses, just to have bosses. And then the other 3 are Titanette fighting the evil sorcerer, who's the antagonist of the whole thing. And those do affect the story. In fact, they pretty much are the story, and uh, I haven't actually started working on those yet, but anyways, one of my biggest problems with the first game that seemed to be the most recurring complaint I got in general about that game was that the bosses were pretty much all the same. And I've talked about this before on this channel too, that, yeah, they were. And that was a problem that I should have fixed before I had the game came out, but I didn't because I would say a mix of laziness and just being uninspired as to what to do for those levels. Um, so one of my focuses in this game is making sure that each boss is relatively varied. I plan to have sort of a motif going with the sorcerer ones, but most of the bosses in this game will largely be different from each other, and some of them are even designed somewhat like a puzzle, where you kind of have to figure out what to do. And I know that, I know that with that sort of thing, you got to be very careful not to cross the line from interesting to infuriating. But I I like what I've come up with so far. I'll say that much. One of the bosses is a lot more like a chase, honestly, than it is like a boss. But uh, yeah. So out of those 25 levels, I believe I've currently completed 15 of them, which I know might not sound like a lot, but first of all, a lot of those times I was making 2 levels per day. And second off, like I said, all I have all the pieces. I just need to put them together, right? The levels I haven't coded yet, I already know what they're going to be. I just have to put them together. Really, it's mainly just coming up with what the sprites are going to look like because I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but visuals is like, maybe not visuals, but artwork is like one of my weak points, in my opinion. I have a really hard time, sometimes just like visualizing environments, and I do all the visuals for my games, so that can be a little bit difficult sometimes. Usually, I'm happy with what I end up creating. It's just getting to that point can be a little difficult for me. Uh, but yeah, the the majority of the game is done. If like pretty much as soon that's the thing is I don't know how long I'm going to be waiting to hear back from that person, that Twitch person that I was talking about earlier. That will pretty much decide how long it takes until the game comes out. At least that's what I'm expecting because unlike any of the other voice actors that I'm casting, this person is like very 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 busy. They have like a bunch of fans, and I'm sincerely expecting that I will probably be waiting a while, not just to hear back from them, but to actually get like recordings from them. I could be completely wrong. Maybe they'll send it to me in like a week, which would be great and perfect and wonderful. And if that happens, then this game will probably come out in like June. But and the much more likely scenario that I'll be waiting a while, then that's pretty much what I prepared for. That I'll probably eventually end up at a point where like I'd say pretty early into this year, like probably by about June, I'll probably end up at this point where the entire game pretty much is done except for that one part, and I'm just sitting on it and waiting and waiting and waiting for that one part to happen. But trust me, I promise you it will be worth the wait. This game is absolutely wonderful. I think it's a huge leap in quality from the first game. Um, Bananarang, the Scattered Shards, was a huge leap in quality from just anything I'd ever created in general. And so, in keeping with that, I've kind of made the decision that going forward, I want all of my games to reflect sort of a similar level of high effort, high quality content. And I found different ways to do that for this game than I did with Bananarang, but I'm still quite happy with what I've done. And even though not sure I'd say that this game is quite as good as Bananarang. I definitely think that it has everything it needs to. It's the best that a Blood Knuckle 2 could be, and that's what's important, right? At least if it ends up shaping out the way I'm imagining it. But that's pretty much just more of what it already is. Anyways, that's my ramble for today. That's my little update. I am working on stuff. You can probably most likely expect to see Blood Knuckle 2 come out this year. I feel pretty comfortable saying that. I think by 2024, you can expect to start seeing this sort of thing happen. Um, you can probably expect to see a couple shows and just a couple things uploaded to that Formula Fanboy Pictures channel that is currently completely void of any content. That's all from me for today. I have never been good at ending videos, so I will just say goodbye.